Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Cindy Nierenberg. This is AY260, and this is week 31. And as of today, I'm down another 1.8 pounds this week. Yay! Yay! So last week I weighed in at 220.6, this week at 218.8 for a total of 1.8 pounds gone this week. And that makes a total loss, ready for this, 29.2 pounds. 29.2 pounds, right? So where do you think my brain's going, right? I want 30. I want 30. So I have what? 29.2, I have 0.3 pounds to lose because I want to get under that 30 or over that 30 mark. So yeah, that's where I am this week. I'm happy to be here. Probably need to clarify some of the things that I've been saying to you. I got an email this week about the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. And that clarification I think is very important. When I'm speaking to you about my journey with weight loss, I do not have diabetes, but I feel like there's plenty of diabetes in my family, especially on my mom's side. I had two brothers with diabetes. My mom was an insulin-dependent diabetic. Like, that gun is loaded for me, and I don't want to pull that trigger. So that's the reason why I'm so interested in the insulin response, because in type 2 diabetes, your insulin levels are just so high, and type 2 diabetics have to pump in more insulin to bring those blood sugars down. Now, I'm not diabetic myself, knock on wood, and I don't want to ever be diabetic, so I want to make sure that my insulin levels stay low. Type 1 diabetes is completely different. Type 1 diabetes people generally have from childhood, and it's a difficulty in producing enough insulin. So I produce too much insulin, which keeps me from losing weight. So when our insulin levels are high, we can't access the fat that we want to burn. So blood sugars are high, insulin levels are high, there's not going to be any fat burning. You can bring down your insulin, you bring down those blood sugars, and then all of a sudden your body's like, oh, okay, where am I going to get energy? I'm going to go to the fat stores. So all of this that I've been telling you is just to enable you to start accessing those fat stores and start really getting into the stuff that we want to burn, right? The excess fat that's hanging on our body. So I wanted to make sure that I clarified that. The other thing that I really want to clarify for you today is how I am utilizing fasting in my day. And I like to think of fasting more as time-restricted eating, like TRE is what I call it. Time-restricted eating, which means I eat my meals in a specific amount of time during the day. So if you've read anything about fasting, you know, you could fast for 12 hours and have an eating period for 12 hours. A lot of people fast for 16 hours and then they have an 8-hour period where they eat. I think a lot of the movie stars do that. You can have an 18-hour and then eat for a 6-hour period. But no matter what you do, and from what I've been reading and learning, it's great to mix up those numbers so that you're just not doing the same thing day after day after day, because your body gets used to that and then stops kind of responding to it. So you just kind of want to shake things up a bit, but find a rhythm that you're comfortable with. And here's what I want to really make crystal clear today. When you're doing time-restricted eating, so say you decided I'm going to try to eat within a 12-hour period. In those 12 hours, you're not eating I'm sorry to say, you're not eating for the whole 12 hours. You are eating specific meals in that 12-hour period. So you might be eating from, I don't know, 7 in the morning until 7 at night. So you might have your breakfast at 7 in the morning. You might have your lunch at 1. You might have your dinner at 6 o'clock and be finished by 7. That's how it works. You are eating specific meals in time-restricted eating. You're not snacking in between meals. You're not saying, oh, this is a low-carb item. Here's a cheese stick. I can eat it. It's harmless. Because no, like I said last week, every time you eat, every time there's an eating episode, your insulin goes up. So we want to keep that insulin down as long as we can. So time-restricted eating, a good place to start, excuse me, a good place to start with time-restricted eating is 3 meals a day, no snacks. Sounds doable, doesn't it? But most of us are used to, grazing throughout the day or just picking up a little snack here and there, a little couple of nuts won't hurt, or an olive won't hurt, or, maybe a piece of fruit. All of those things raising your insulin. So time-restricted eating for me means that I eat in a specific time period and I only eat meals. So if I'm eating a meal. I'm not eating a snack. If I pick something up to put it in my mouth, it better be an entire meal for that time period. And it's working for me because it's keeping my insulin level low between meals. And then I have a good long fasting period from dinner until my first meal the next day. So I wanted to make that very, very clear because a lot of people are like, oh, time-restricted eating, I've got a 6-hour period where I can eat and I can just eat all the things, all 6 hours. I used to do that. Like, that is why I know this so well, right? I used to do it and wonder, gosh, well, why isn't, intermittent fasting working for me? Well, I wasn't working intermittent fasting. So the fasting is more important than the eating. When you're fasting, the eating is more important than the fasting when you're eating. So be mindful of the number of hours that you fast, and then be mindful of the types of food that you're eating when you eat and how often you're eating in that designated time-restricted eating period. I hope that makes sense. You guys, I will see you next week, and I will be at 30 pounds down by this time next week. Guarantee. See you later. Bye.